Lesson 9, A Birthday Letter to a Daughter. Dear Indu, Central Prison, Naini, 26 October 1930. On your birthday, you have been in the habit of receiving presents and good wishes. Good wishes you will still have in full measure. But what presents can I send you from Naini prison? My presents cannot be very material or solid. They can only be of the mind and spirit. You know how I dislike sermonizing and doling out good advice. When I am tempted to do this, I always think of the story of a very wise man I once read. Perhaps one day you will yourself read the book which contained this story. 1300 years ago, there came a great traveler from China to India. He came in search of wisdom and knowledge. His name was Hyun Tsang. He spent many years in India, learning himself and teaching others. For some time, he studied at the great University of Nalanda. Hyun Tsang became very learned. He journeyed all over India. He saw and studied the people that lived in this great country in those far off days. Later, he wrote a book on his travels. It is this book which contains the story that comes to my mind. I know I have only a limited wisdom. How then can I pose as a wise man and distribute good advice to others? The best way to find out what is right and what is wrong, what should be done and what should not be done, is by talking and discussing. We cannot find out truth by giving sermons. Only through discussion sometimes a bit of truth comes out. Therefore, I must not sermonize. What then am I to do? A letter can hardly take the place of a talk. It is a one sided affair. So, if I write anything that sounds like advice, don't take it like a pill to be swallowed. Take it as a suggestion to think over. I have always liked my talks with you and we have discussed many things. But the world is so wide and there are so many other worlds. We can never know everything about them. None of us should ever imagine that we have become very wise and learned everything. And it is perhaps good that we don't know everything. If there were nothing more to learn, we would feel rather sad. We would miss the joy of learning new things. In history, we read of great men and women. We read of the great deeds done by them. And sometimes we imagine ourselves like those heroes and heroines of the past. Do you remember how fascinated you were when you first read the story of Joan of Arc? Do you remember how you had an ambition to do something like her? Ordinary men and women are not usually heroic. They think of their daily bread and butter, of their household worries and the like. But great leaders have something in them which inspires a whole nation and makes them do great deeds. The year 1917, in which you were born, was a memorable year. It was a year when a great leader made his people write a great chapter of history. He was Vladimir Lenin of Russia, whose heart was full of love and sympathy for the poor and the oppressed. He started a great revolution that changed the face of his country. And today in India we have another great leader, our beloved Bapuji, who is full of love for all who suffer. He has inspired our people to make every sacrifice so that we may again be free. Bapuji lies in prison, but the magic of his message steals into the heart of every Indian. Man and woman and even little children have become India's soldiers of freedom. In India today we are making history. I cannot say what part we shall play in this great drama, but we must remember one thing. As India's soldiers, we must never do anything that can bring us dishonor. We must hold the flag of India's honor flying high. Often we may be in doubt as to do what to do. It is no easy matter to decide what is right and what is wrong. One little test I shall ask you to apply whenever you are in doubt. It may help you. Never do anything in secret. Never do anything that you would wish to hide. The desire to hide means you are afraid, and fear is a bad thing. It is unworthy of you. If you are brave, you will not do anything of which you are ashamed. You are fortunate that you can see the great freedom movement going on in our country. You are also very fortunate that you have a very brave and wonderful woman for your mummy. If you are ever in doubt or trouble, you cannot have a better friend. Goodbye, little one, and may you grow up into a brave soldier in India's service. With all my love and good wishes, Jawaharlal Nehru.